After the Pulse shooting, I witnessed firsthand the resiliency of Orlando's Latinx LGBT community. I sat down with 3 powerful young leaders who are helping their community to heal. Hey y'all, I'm here in Orlando where I got my brand new pants on because I wanted to wear something a little muted today. And I get to spend time with 3 amazing youth activists. Here in Orlando, we have Ish, Fausto, Nicole, and they're gonna tell you a little bit about themselves and the work that they do.
I'm Ish Perez. I use he, him pronouns. I'm the membership coordinator and the coordinator for the Community Cocina cooking class series for Q Latinx.
My name is Fausto Cardenas. I use they, them pronouns, and I work for a statewide local LGBTQ+ advocacy group.
My name is Nicole Parker. I use she, her, hers pronouns, and I'm the event and community outreach coordinator for the One Pulse Foundation and a transgender advocate here in Central Florida.
Okay, wow, look at that. I'm making connections, I'm networking here. So all of y'all, it sounds like you're really connected to great work here. What inspired you to get into the work, Nicole?
For me, when I began my transition, my family wasn't really accepting of me, as many trans individuals can identify with. So I left my house and moved to New York City. Inevitably, I was 19 years old, no job, so inevitably I fell into sex work and all of those things. And when I was going through that process, I would talk to many girls that I would meet at different clubs and different events, and I always asked, like, is there anything else, like, do you want to do more for life? And many of the girls would just say, girl, this is what we have, this is it, you know what I mean? And for me, that was the light bulb that went off where I was like, this can't be it. Like, just because we're trans, we can't be capped, you know what I mean? So that's what kind of lit the fire under me to become a trans advocate.
And you mentioned that you do campaign work, and I know that y'all have had some wins this year. What got you into the work, and where do you think some of the political landscape is here in Orlando for queer folks?
So I'm actually a very political person. I studied political science, and that was one of my majors in college. And kind of how my story played out is that I was born in Ecuador. I moved here when I was 4, and I kind of had my own journey of coming into my own identity as a queer person. And then when I kind of started seeing the elections, this was the first Obama election. I was 17 at the time, so I wasn't able to vote. But I started seeing all of these issues that are affecting queer people in general, but also how issues like immigration started coming up and how that intersects with our identities as Latinx people and queer people in same-sex marriage, et cetera, and all those things that were going on at the same time. And I felt like, being such a young age, I felt like there wasn't enough people who were rallied up like I was, and I was trying to figure out why that was. I was like not able to vote at the time, and I was like, you know, hello, why is nobody caring? And then I realized it was because of the identities that I carry, that all of this work needs to be done for myself, but also everything that I do is greater than myself. And then that really popped me into the mindset that I need to start doing activism, and that's kind of how I took my journey into my college career now as a young professional working with activism.
Awesome. And you're connected with Q Latinx. Like, how did you get connected, and what drove you to it, and how has your life changed since being involved with Q Latinx?
So Q Latinx really came together really organically. After the Pulse shooting, a lot of us were queer Latinos who were feeling a lot of grief, but we didn't really have any space to express it, or we had friendships as well, but you know, we grew distant from other people, and then suddenly we were in the middle of it. So we came together and we really expressed like our feelings, our concerns, how this was sort of reflective of this greater phobia toward all of our identities, and how each of our identities, like Fausto said, they intersect. They are not like just single issues. And so we decided to take matters into our own hands because we didn't see that there were any organizations that acknowledged that there are people who are not single issue. Mm-hmm. And so we decided to create Q Latinx, completely volunteer-based, completely grassroots, because we knew that if other organizations won't listen to the communities that they serve, then we might as well become our own organization.
No, it's been amazing to watch it grow, because I came here soon after the Paul shooting, like in mid-July, and was actually present at the second gathering for Q Latinx, and they hosted me and Grad Varones. So it's been amazing and powerful to watch it grow, because there was a lot of pain, but there was also an urgency to rebuild and to strengthen community. And I know that it's been 2 years out, and what has it been specifically for young trans people in Orlando after the Pulse incident?
I think it instilled a lot of fear with the whole community, but especially trans people. After the Pulse tragedy, our fear kind of was heightened, and then recently there was a trans individual that was murdered here in Orlando, and that just really, exploded the feeling of fear and just that feeling that we're not welcome, we're not safe, and it just kind of exploited that a little bit.
How about you? What has inspired you over the last 2 years since you've been doing this work, that when things get hard, it kind of grounds you and keeps you in the work?
For me personally, when I was growing up, I never really had a role model. I never saw any queer Latino person or Latinx person in general who was like seen as successful, seen as like somebody to really look up to. So for me, it was very alienating growing up. And so a lot of that is my motivation for staying within this activist community, because I know that even though I might not realize it at times, there are other people who are watching me who might be younger than me, who are saying, that's what I want to be. That's what I want my actions to consist of.
So what is one message you would tell queer and trans young people watching this?
To watch your negative self-talk. A lot of us don't sit and realize that we're in our heads telling us we can't do this, you're not good enough. Sometimes it's our voice. And if you realize that, okay, wait, I think I'm telling myself more negative things than positive things, then start doing affirmations. Maybe just write out that I am worth it and tell yourself in the mirror every day. Just kind of, a lot of us going through the years, I never realized as a kid how negative I was to myself. Oh, you're never gonna do this. You're never gonna be able to sign up for school. You're never gonna be able to achieve this. And as I got older, I'm like, who said that, me or society? You know what I mean? And I think it's just really important to watch how you talk to yourself and make sure self-care is in your regimen and you take time for yourself and you really sit down. And if you wanna go to the beach, that's my favorite place. Just go to the beach and relax and just listen to the water and decompress.
Everything in life is political, whether you want to be actively involved in politics or not. Your water is political. You look at Flint, Michigan. Your body's political, reproductive justice, reproductive frameworks, your gender identity, your sexual orientation, all of that is political, all of that's regulated. And I think it's very important that the political landscape is going to change regardless of you doing something or not doing something.
You can vote or not vote. That does not
change.
stop that process from happening.
It's going to change. So whether we want it to go the way that we want is up to us. And that's why my point is really to get engaged, do your research, go out there, and not to be politically apathetic.
How about you, Ish? What is one message you want queer and trans youth to know and take with them after watching this?
There was a tweet that I saw a while ago that said, remember when you were younger and you saw that queer person owning their queerness? Now you're that person. And that really hit me because I didn't realize how much progress I made between feeling so isolated and then now feeling so open and I can be an activist and I don't care if anybody knows my identities. So my message really is be that person who you wish you had, because really waiting for somebody else to sort of take that place isn't as effective as just stepping up to the plate and doing it yourself,
I have a 16-year-old son, and I'm always learning things about him, like how he sees sex, how he views identity, how he views the political landscape as a young Black boy. So it keeps me on my toes as an adult who was once a youth activist, when to step back, when to create room, and when to listen. And I didn't necessarily have that as a young person. I didn't have adults who provided me that space to be the teacher. So as young activists, how are you bridging the intergenerational gap? How are you having conversations around complex issues or even realities with either older people in your family or in your lives, and what that has been and why is that important?
I think it's really, really important to talk to individuals who may not be in your age gap, for the simple reason that the older they are, the more you can learn from them, and vice versa. I love talking to older trans women because they're like, girl, I didn't have what you have. And I love that because it's true, you know what I mean? But at the same time, some of the values that they have, they can instill in me and vice versa. And I think it's the same thing with the youth. The youth, it's a little different. My fiance has 2 kids, and we were at Olive Garden eating, and somehow the conversation came up, and they're like, I have gay friends and trans friends, and it's nothing to me, and my eyes are like this, you know what I mean? Because in school, they beat me up, spit on me, like that wasn't okay. But I think our youth have such an advantage with the work that we've done and the ones that have come before us to kind of open that mindset a little bit, and really, people are not really looking at sexuality and gender identity as they once did. So I think it's super important to give them tools to be able to talk to their friends about it and change that conversation a little bit while learning from the ones who came before us as well.
A divide that I've seen has been particularly with like non-binary identities or something along those lines that older queer people have absolutely no idea what that is because, you know, it wasn't as visible at their time as it is now.
So what if we did a Lifetime movie of your life? What would be the opening song of your movie? Man, you can take a minute to think.
I know. The Queen by Lady Gaga. She's my everything. So, but it's, I don't know if everyone's heard that song. Apparently not that many people have.
What album is it on?
Born This Way. Deluxe edition. If it's not on the deluxe, it's not there. That's why some people haven't heard it. But it's
Justice for Art Pop.
Yeah. But basically, well, that song it's very unique because it kind of slows down in the middle of it, like it's really upbeat, and then it like slows down into kind of this ballad type, you know, spoken song, and it's really about being unapologetically you. And she literally talks in that song. She says, every time I get called the B word, you know, I remember that I'm the queen and this is who I am and this is who I should be. And I think that has always inspired me, and it's my favorite song of all time by her. And it's just really like inspirational, like be you, like love who you are and don't let other people don't let them call you nasty words, derogatory terms, and take the you away from yourself.
So I'm struggling between Bad Girls, Donna Summers.
Yes.
And Apple Tree by Erykah Badu. That's a nice mix of me right there. So Donna Summers, the queen, love her, everything to me. And then Erykah Badu the same way, the way that she can do music, doesn't have to, you know, do much on stage, but what she's saying really hits you. So probably a mix between those two, a little club mix.
Also, we could have an extended intro.
Yes.
How about you, Ish?
This is really tough. Something that comes to mind is like an acoustic cover of Bulletproof by Sia. Just because that song, the theme of resiliency and just like fire away and I'll still be here, is really beautiful, and it really speaks to me, and just staying resilient, staying strong no matter what might approach me.
So we're probably going to ask y'all after this to email some other songs, and we can create a Spotify playlist. And folks, y'all can play that whenever y'all feeling down or need some inspiration. But I want to thank y'all for just sharing your time and space with us today. And I'm so humbled to hear your stories and know that, you know, you are all changing the world. And if no one has thanked you, I want to thank you for the work that you do for changing the way some people hear, see, feel, and experience the world, because it is the world that y'all create that my son gets to thrive in. So thank you very much. Well, this is cute.
Louie.
Oh, hey. Well, I want to thank you for watching Kiki's with me, Louie. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like and subscribe down below. And I want to hear your thoughts and experiences on this topic. So drop a comment, let's keep the Kikis going.